know when it is.
Now it's actually starting for real, since we're actually
in the bank.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Factions. I am JD Mage here. It is the 22nd of November, and it is the first tournament in the Nyroth arc. I am your main caster, and here co-casting with me is Mike.
What's up, everyone?
And we have the streamer who is not Porkchop for once, Heavy Weapons Guy.
Hi there.
You didn't say moo. I'm surprised. Shut up, Heavy. Anyway. As stated, this is the first tournament in the Nyroth arc, and it shall be consisting of 6 matches today, from 2:30 EST up until about 8:30, which technically would be 9:30 after the hour-long the game. But anyway.
Yep, and this first game is going to be between Ionia and Shadow Isles. They are in terms of the balance of power for this arc, they are the lowest 2 factions. So it's like battle of the weaklings. And then next game is going to be the top 2 battling out with Bilgewater and Freljord.
I just want to point out Ionia stole the bill.
Oh, that is very detrimental to the Shadow Isles' morale. What will they respond with?
Yep. And evidently I think they're just trying to psych some people out by grabbing Karthus, trying to make everyone think they are Shadow Isles.
Or because everybody loves me, they're copying my strategy of picking random champions, because that's fun. Yay!
But that's not really random, it's the other team's faction champion. It's not really random, it's not just, fish.
Shut up, I like to live in lies.
Yes, you do. Like the fact that you still won't accept the fact that you're a mass murdering psychopath.
No, I admit it, and I also wholeheartedly agree to that. I endorse it, actually. I go to kindergartens and tell them what I do as a living while I'm killing the teacher. Which then they praise me for, after they scream and cry. Anyway,
yeah.
Real quick before we continue on with this bullshit stuff, and of course with the champion selection, I must give a shout out to Kawaii Asuna. He, when or she, I don't know what, anyway, has created a YouTube channel and has been posting the featured matches from the previous weeks onto it. So for those that can't work Twitch on their phone, like I can't, you can pull up the YouTube channel and listen to all the featured matches from, I believe, 2 weeks ago.
And so yeah, it's helping everyone out catch the games. And yeah, that's good job. Factions all thanks Kawaii for that. I'm not sure, like you said, if they're a guy or a girl.
Yeah, Kawaii, the YouTube channel is Kawaii Asuna. It is his normal name, and I, in fact, will get into the Twitch chat and link it just for those that can't spell and or are not paying attention right now. Like I am.
And
I mean nothing.
So, Cupcake just sent me a link. He started up a little Reddit page for the tournament today, and I'm going to link that as well. So yeah, that. Yeah, so come check it out. Comment on how the tournament's going, who you think's going to win, what strategies are working. Basically, anything about the tournament relevant. Alright, and looking at the champions here, so Shadow Isles has picked a Mumu for the jungle, which they picked up just yesterday for their roster. So they're quickly taking advantage of him. Hopefully they got practices in on him, even though they didn't for sure know he'd be on their roster for this weekend.
Yes, for those that did not see the petition votes going out, 3 factions have gained themselves new champions. Sona has been picked up for Ionia. We have Freljord picking up nobody. Ha, they failed with the Quinn vote barely, sad to say. We have Shadows with the Mumu, and then we have Bilgewater picking up Diana.
Yeah, so...
Yes.
Yeah, that was somewhat expected. Shadow Isles, like, they've been saying for a while how they want to move for they can get the... Because, they got a lot of AoE damage, but they don't have a ton of lockdown to keep people in that AoE, and so they've been, they've been talking, yeah, we want to move for all that lockdown on his bolts, so that is pretty expected. As for the Sona pick, it's not like they had no supports, but I guess they decided they wanted the Sona and not their other 2 supports that they have.
Sometimes one is just better than the other.
Here's what I feel like. If they wanted lockdown, they should have gone with Scion. He does that just as well, but it's far more annoying.
Though at the same time, people fear Amumu from the beginning of their account history.
But choo-choo,
Oh, there he goes. He just ran by the casting room. Looks like he was chasing down a Teemo. Too bad he missed.
Yeah, that is a lot of some of the discussion in shout-outs about like why Amumu over Sion is Sion. He is relatively new since the rework, and so there's not a lot of players that are really overly skilled at him. And Mumu is, pretty easy. You land your Q, you hit your ult, boom, you got locked down.
Now, before we head into the game, or at least the 3 minutes before we can actually watch the game, for those not paying attention, we have Akali, Varus, Lee Sin, Ahri, and Sona on Ionia versus Amumu Fiddlesticks, who seems to be going bot lane. It is Dr. Midget. This is surprising. Krieger the Undead is playing Thresh with Teleport Exhaust.
That is, very surprising. Honestly, I think Flash is a very good spell to have on Thresh because you can flash and then use your Death Sense to hook people in.
And then Lester or Pancho Grande using his Hecarim top lane, Ghost Teleport, and we have Silencer Mage going with Flash Exhaust on Karthus.
You can also throw your lantern at someone and flash over a wall and they grab it, just to save you both as well.
The teleport pick is a personal pick from Krieger. He always takes teleport from what I've seen.
I did not argue with teleport because I always favor the idea of coming back to lane, especially if you're a support or tank that doesn't really mind not worrying about getting kills. Coming back to lane with an item built up, Sightstone, being able to come back to lane with the Sightstone with only a little bit of downtime would be very powerful for vision control and just health overall.
Yeah.
I think the most interesting in this game is going to be Light and Ares. Just to see how Mumu and Lee are doing in this new jungle currently.
And that is something to also note. Soda is here. He was AFK and or dead before, but he came back. Say hello, Soda.
He's muted on me.
No.
I hate you.
Wait. He's not allowed to cast.
Anyway. And yes, for those that... Oh, you first, Mike.
I was just going to do some talk about the team comps and what strategies they might be wanting to bring. Shadow Isles obviously has the AoE with Lockdown comp. They got Karthus, Fiddlestick, AoE. Then you got Hecarim and Thresh and Moog going to be putting out Lockdown. And Ionia, they got a couple, I don't know, it feels like their team comp's a little conflicting. They got Varus and Sona for a bunch of lockdown, but then they don't really have any AoE damage. It's all single target.
Well, Ahri is a tad bit of AoE. It's more... Actually, no, I'd say it's more of a splash damage because of the Foxfire, and then our ultimate itself, and the Q won't hit everybody, but it'll hit most.
Their comp is actually quite nice, because this is not a lockdown comp, this is a pick composition. You land one of those CCs, everything else is going to fall up, and that person's going to die. So this is a good composition.
Looking at the teams right now for a veterancy, we have Kawhi, Junpei, Lightfixer, and Soviet Jan, Mr. Sapling, though, playing Sona right now. I have not seen him around on the Ionian roster, or at least in the featured matches. Looking over towards Shadow Isles, Ares the Proud playing Amumu, have not seen him. Dr. Midget 2 has been here for a very long time, I believe since the beginning of the arc. Krieger, Soda was commenting that he has done this for a while. I might not have noticed the Thresh. And we, of course, have Pancho Grande, one of the, I'd like to call, leaders of the Shadow Isle Summoners. And I can't see who the last guy is because of the dang loading screen. So I'm just going to say it's Turtle. It's Turtle.
It's a Silencer Mage on Karthus.
Nope, it's a Turtle. It is now a Turtle. Silencer Mage, you're now Turtle. Not a Turtle, your name is Turtle. Playing that.
So,
and of course we've seen the Turtle for a while.
Yeah, and just in case anyone is watching this stream but not familiar with Factions, Factions is a game mode where we have rosters limited to what a specific faction, what champions that are actually part of a specific faction. For example, you got Noxus and Demacia. You can have those guys and they're just picking Noxus and Demacian champions, but in this case, it's Ionia and the Shadow Isles.
Now, there are other ways to gain champions. As you can see, Amumu is not a Shadow Isles champion, nor is Fiddlesticks, but through previous lore decisions from the other arcs, they have become available to the Shadow Isles, mainly because they themselves are kind of spooky and crazy and really strike fear into the heart of children. Maybe not a movie, but still.
I should point out that Amumu actually is undead, so
that's mainly why.
Halfway in there already.
Now we do have multiple. We have a faction for every city. We also include Sharelia or Shurima. Don't know why I want to say Sharelia. I miss it so much. We have Shurima and the Void also in terms of factions.
Yep, those they're not the most common factions to see because Shurima really just got in the lore department, they really just kind of came together with Azir, and they just got, enough champions really to foster a good roster for an arc. And the Void has exactly 5 champions, and so that's very limits, people's choices when they're going into games, and so they're not very popular in, people wanting to play 5 champions for the entire arc.
Now, for those that are curious about factions that are beside all that, it is mainly a community-based. If I were to describe it as anything, it's pretty much like a guild. Even if somebody is not on your faction, such as myself, I'm Bilgewaterian, but Mike here is on Shadow Isles, we get along quite well. We don't hate each other, yet.
Yet. Yeah.
And there's also a lot of things that goes on behind the scenes, such as exploration that goes on. Currently, for this arc, we have discovered an island continent south of Valoran, or west of Valoran, one of those directions, and we are currently investigating it, doing a lot of lore decisions based on what the survivors that are left there need help with in terms of getting the island back to a habitable condition.
Yep, and we got 4 factions: Ionia, Freljord, Bilgewater, and Shadow Isles this arc. That's the story. We're entering. This tournament is about who gets official representation of Nyroth for the time being. They won't have complete control of it, but they get quite a bit of deciding power for the time being. And so,
I will have to interrupt you there, Mike. The game has officially started. First person to buy an item is Lee Sin. He actually buys all of his items right before the gate, or right before everyone else loads in.
Yeah, and as always, the first person to be out will be the person who leaves at the 15-second mark.
Which actually is a tie between 5 different people.
Yep.
Now, one thing to note that is a milestone, this is the first pair of featured days. I also include tomorrow, since these are not technically not featured matches, they're tournaments, but, c'est la vie. This is the first set that will be played on the new Summoner's Rift.
Yep, it just came out this week, and we do them every weekend, so first time, and it just happened to line up with our big tournament, so I think Riot was wanting us to do this.
Riot has spies. Kawhi Suni being caught up at Monte right now.
Akali doesn't have the power to take him on right now. She doesn't have a ton of power until she hits 6, so she
we got 30
obviously just wants to back out.
Attempting to put a ward down. Seeing the junglers trying to take out... Well, seeing the junglers in this new jungle might be very interesting. There are various different routes that you can actually take, and you can go with the various different item builds that all work on certain champions.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's it's brand new jungle with all these weird smites now, and all these weird buffs that you get off of not just red and blue. And so, I think this weekend is going to be a little awkward for these guys because, I don't think there's a ton of practice for any of them. I mean, they have a little bit, but not much.
Well, last night I do remember seeing at least 5 faction games going out between all of the factions about evenly. So people have had practice in terms of their own faction, but jungling practice is something entirely different. We see Lee Sin starting with red buff, and we see Amumu going for blue buff. Completely understandable.
Real big change is now the jungle can only get 2 health potions, so it's a lot harder trying to clear through the jungle at the start because they can't sustain as easily.
Though, for once, I'm not going to have to explain everything due to the fact that since this just came out, and if you're a new player, you would have read it when you started loading into your League client. And if you're not a new player, you would have read this because it took Riot 18 hours to get the patch to work.
Yeah. Problems since last night they had this big thing where people couldn't log in.
Yep. I could have wrote a thesis document. We see Lee Sin entering the Amumu jungle, trying to find him, and it seems Life Fixer just going to back right now. Life Fixer is known to play Master Yi. He's been one of the most influential Yi players on the Ionian team.
We see Amumu near his red buff.
Light Fixer coming in around Silencer Mage, not using his Q. Oh, the Q lands on Karthus, but he already flashed away.
Yep, that is a lot of health gone from Silencer Mage, and he has no flash, so he has to play incredibly safe unless he wants to get killed.
No, we do have Akali versus Poncho in the top lane. It will be interesting to see those two fight it out.
We got Mumu running through the river. He was looking to head towards mid, but then kind of backed off. I guess Ari was off doing something and realized she wasn't in lane.
Looking towards the bot lane right now, Dr. Midget and Krieger taking a bit of harass from the Junpai and Sapling combo. Sona's Q passive, giving Varus enough damage on his auto attacks to harass Midget. But a drain from the Fiddlesticks is able to keep himself up tip-top health.
Yeah, that is that's a pretty big comp for the bot lane for Showouts, because Ionia does have the... Oh, we got Hook. Drain. Fiddlesticks probably should have used his Sphere or Silence to keep Varus there a little longer, but they still get a lot of damage down and force the Flash.
Ignite has been used by Fiddlesticks, but Flash, Heal are off of the Varus. Looking up towards top lane, we see Pancho Grande fighting Kawaii Sune in the Silence, or in the Shroud. Something to note as well, Amumu was able to back with twice as much CS versus Lee Sin. Lee Sin trying to make some pressure around the map and also attempting to counter jungle, but in the wrong areas at the wrong time.
Although I don't think Lee Sin is going to stick to counter jungling because the item he picked is not the... There's like kind of two counter jungling items. One is for stealing camps and gives you bonus rewards for doing so, and the other one is for like trying to kill the other jungle. He doesn't have either. He's just got straight up clear.
Oh, Blightfish is coming up to the top lane in an attempt to hurt Poncho, but Poncho uses his E, gets out of there. He follows in with the Q, does a little bit more damage to the Hecarim, and Lightfix will decide to back out right there. Not getting a lot of CS while Moon is still farming. In fact, Light's staying in the top lane. Poncho's a little bit afraid, not up. He has seen Lee Sin, who's going to jump out of there. Poncho's Hecarim.
Yeah, I think you're staying there to deny Poncho a little bit of farm. Poncho is a very good Hecarim top laner.
Hecarim in general.
Yeah, he's a great Hecarim player, yeah. And so I think they want to try to shut him down
Lisa
early.
in the mid lane attempted to hurt Silencer, who's Amumu landing a Q under tower, attempting to kill off Lifex, who's able to jump to the Sophie Chen Ari, but it doesn't seem like anything's going to come out of it. Silencer and Light are very low right now.
Just exposed
and first blood bot lane. Thank you for catching that, so I'm going to do a quick rewind.
Job. Yeah, so
from what I can see, it looks like Varus got...
Oh, Varus had no health.
Yeah.
Fiddlesticks flashed over the wall. Oh, does he? Yeah, he flashes over the wall, gets a basic attack off, and kills him.
That
Who says you need to be
Fiddlesticks
to deal damage with your basics?
He probably, Varus here, probably should have backed after that one Thresh Hook we saw earlier where Fiddlesticks got the Ignite, forced the Flash, and heal off of Varus. And he had very low health then. He probably should have backed then.
He might have expected Sona to be able to heal him up. Because just recently Sona's healing has been nerfed quite a bit.
Now, a few things to note here in terms of in terms of summoners and their comfort picks. Silencer Mage is a very good Karthus. May not be as great as Poncho on his Hecarim, but it's something he feels very comfortable with and knows the ins and outs of. Real quick, Lightfixer coming back in on Silencer Mage, level 6. Taunt lands from Ari, and that will be Silencer Mage taken out by the comeback Q of Ari's Orbit Deception. It looked like as if he was fast enough to dodge it, but unfortunately that was not the case. That's the third or fourth time Lightfixer's come mid lane right now.
Having to flash away from
diving.
Hecarim using his ultimate, securing the kill on a solo kill onto the Akali.
Solo
kills. Really
kills.
comfortable on that matchup, I don't think, because she sits in her shroud and Hecarim just twirls his staff around. He doesn't care.
He's got plenty of AoE to deal with her shroud, so it's not like he's gonna miss. And gonna also add that I don't know if it was on stream, but Akali was E'd by Hecarim, flashed out of it, and then he ulted. So she burned her flash and still died. So that's kind of a double whammy for her. really far behind at this point.
Jumping back onto the champion and summoner lane or matchups, Dr. Midget is an amazing Fiddlesticks player. I would bet he is the best Fiddlesticks player on the Shadow Isles roster, but he seems to do his best whenever he's bot lane with the Thresh. I was for a while on Shadow. Ooh, hook coming out, landing onto the Varus. Flay hitting both Varus and Sona right now. Dr. Midget trying to do as much as he can, running around. Exhaust coming out, and that will be the kill for Fiddlesticks. Sona being stunned up by a Mumu flashing out. Doesn't seem like she'll be
good.
Oh, Karthus ultimate coming in. Hook killing. Wow, I really screwed up there. Hook landing onto the Lee Sin to help Dragon back in as Karthus' ultimate was beckoning down onto the
Ari, and she's got to be careful she doesn't die.
She's having to ult away. She's going into the Shadow jungle.
Fiddlesticks will be able to reach her. Amumu misses his grip, flashes over the wall again. Q landing from Karthus, and that is a hook, securing the kill. Death sentence. Never has there been a name for a spell that fits more than death sentence.
Yeah, well done, Shadow Isles. They're taking off a very strong start. So yeah, that's a lot of what Shadow Isles has to do though, because they don't have an ADC. Other than Urgot, who's not really an ADC, and they didn't even take.
Well, he kind of is, but they have a certain summoner who just is scary with Urgot, but that's something for another day.
Yeah, and so they really have to take the advantage early if they want to win this, because without an ADC, they lose a lot of late game power. So they have to take the lead early and continue to roll with it.
It is 1-6 right now. Shadow Isles about a little less than 3k ahead. If I had to do the exact math, it would be about 2.8. Hecarim having free farm top lane as Akali is attempting to take out the Gromp. Excuse me.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised that Shadow Isles, after they got those kills in the bot lane, they had all the people up. They could have gone for a dragon.
Lee Sin had rezzed back whenever they did kill off the Ahri, with all of them low health, even though Fiddlesticks, of course, would be tanking it with his drain.
Oh, we got a hook from Thresh onto Varus. Fiddlesticks ult.
Getting exhausted and Varus splashing away.
And, Thresh.
Oh, that will be Thresh.
There goes Thresh. So that engage by Shadow Isles just backfired because even though they got the great combo off, they got all their damage out. It was a perfect execution. Promise, they just were so much lower at the start that it just couldn't work out.
Fiddlesticks able to buy himself a Chalice of Harmony and a pair of boots on top of his arm guard. Still a commanding lead so far. Scuttlecrab has been killed by Lee Sin in the top river.
Yeah, so that doesn't really help at the moment in terms of Baron control, but I guess it is kind of a reward for Akali.
It's their extra gold for his team.
It's mostly I think just for a reward for top lane. Akali going in.
Poncho might be screwing out of the ult. Misses. Uses his ghost and he might be able to try and turn around if he can jump back on or Ignite coming out. Will he survive? Potions being rolled by the Poncho Grande. Last tick of Ignite securing the kill for Kawaii Sona Sune.
And that is how Akali works. You can bully her around in the lane all you want.
And then once she gets
once she gets her ult, she will just
not even her old revolver. She just wins the lane, and that is something to know as well. Kawaii Suna, he is very comfortable on both Akali and Kennen, though he does prefer Akali over Kennen. But when having to play the little lightning ball of cocaine, he can do it very well.
Although, just a quick little thing here in the mid lane. Ahri has 2 wards around the bush on the bot side of mid lane, and neither got bush. She missed twice.
Wow. Sophie Chan taking a good amount of poke from Silencer Mage right now. Sophie Chan is comfortable on Ahri. Now we do see Shadow trying to take out Dragon right now. Dr. Midget using his drain in front of everybody right now. Q coming out from Lee Sin, landing onto the Dragon, but it's not low enough for him to try and steal. Oh, he jumps in there anyway.
Trying to kill Mumu.
So the hook from Thresh, that should be enough to secure the kill on Lee
Everything
Sin.
Smite coming out from Lee Sin. Oh, as Lee Sin jumps in there, lives with 100 health. Fiddlesticks is able to kill off Lee Sin while Mumu secures Dragon. Ult coming out from Karthus. Amumu helping to secure the kill using his bandage. What was it? Torment.
Tantrum.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's a good play by Shadows. They got 2 kills and Dragon. although Dragon is different than how it used to be.
Kawaii Asuna going hard on Pancho Grande right now.
Poncho does put out quite a bit of bursts of damage there. Helps even the trade out. But Akali just has so much sustain from her passive that it doesn't really mean anything.
Poncho, the opportunity to kill Kali has passed, and he has to realize this and leave the lane, or at least farm under tower where he can definitely kill her. Now we do see Lee Sin coming down to the bot lane. There is a ward from Shadow Isles that will not time out anytime soon. That will spot Lee Sin. Varus does have his ultimate up and ready. Fear and Sounds coming out. Drain also onto the Varus. Flash coming out. Amumu securing the kill with his bandage toss. Sona ulting onto the Thresh and Fiddlesticks. Amumu ulting the Sona. Sona being drained by Fiddlesticks, about to die. The Despair able to secure the kill. Sounds onto Lightfix right now. Fear as well. Flay, and that will be a kill for Dr. Midget. I was hoping a triple kill for Amumu. It was a very clean-cut team fight from Shadow Isles.
Yeah, this Shadow Isles bot lane, the Fiddlesticks Thresh, it really only works when they have Dr. Midget on Fiddlesticks. And it's working out beautifully right now.
That wasn't a team fight, more of like a horrible engagement by Ionia with a great counter against Platinum.
Indeed. Unfortunately, the main thing to note there that even though Lee Sin was in the bush ready to go, it took him about 2 seconds to realize that Varus was dying. And by that, Amumu had landed a great bandage toss right onto the dead ADC, so this way they could focus their attention onto Sona and Lee Sin. An amazing combo. One thing to note, why Dr. Midget is so good on Fiddlesticks is he can actually wait out all of the timers of his Silence and his Fear. Unlike most players who use their CC back-to-back, he makes sure that there's very little time left on either the Silence or the Fear before he does the counterpart. And that is teleport coming in from Thresh onto the ward that had just died. Let's see what's going on. Looking at the gold right now, it's about 18k for Ionia, with 22.4k for Shadow Isles. Amumu bandage tossing over onto the Varus over the wall. Answer coming out, very low health on the Amumu though. He dodges the Varus E. Sona very low health as well. Drain coming out trying to take her down. Varus Q coming in, does hit the Amumu. I don't know why he went back in there. Lee Sin coming in as well. Fiddle trying to drain off the Varus. Flay coming out, hitting both Lee Sin and Sona, but unfortunately he's not able to save the Fiddlesticks in time. And that would be Krieger giving a triple kill. So Varus, that was very, very poor fight.
They should have waited for the ultimate to be up for that fight.
Or even the Amumu. If Amumu had his ultimate up, then it would have made sense of why he went back in there for the suicide, but he took the Lantern right on top of Thresh, who's next to Varus.
He's trying to get extra bandage toss onto the Sona, I think.
Oh, Carpet's going in on Ari in the mid lane. She is getting very low.
She's about 300 health. Ultimate
comes.
She does in fact die, and Lightfixer's taken down to 260 health. Akali also being hit by that.
Here too in a
Pancho
second.
Grande able to secure the kill on Kawaii. Will he be able to do a ghost coming out? Akali is charging back in, trying to heal them up, but no. A basic attack from Pancho Grande able to secure that kill, all thanks to Silencer Mage using his ultimate. I was actually watching the Pancho versus Kawaii matchup just before Karthus ulted. Pancho was about 300 health below Akali right next to his turret. Once that ult came out, he jumped right in, missed the fear of his ultimate, but was able to push her back towards her tower, his own tower, and very clean-cut fight. That will be Merktread's finished up on to Hecarim as well. There have been finished, that's Sheen as well. Sorry.
Very well executed by Poncho. He saw Karthus ult and knew that was enough of an advantage for him to turn the lane around there.
Amumu taking the Raptors away from Lee Sin.
Ari is coming by.
Nope.
Amumu they had that ward spawn going and they assumed he was at Raptors.
Looking at the junglers right now to see what items they've bought. Lee Sin has Ranger's Trailblazer with the Warrior enchantment. Varus ulting onto the Amumu, absorbs his ults. Sophie oh, that is just a dirty team fight. Dr. Midget ulting in, flashing onto Sophie Chan, fears and silences her. That will be the death of her. Will he be able to take her Lightfixer? Karthus coming in, able to secure the kill on Lightfixer. Mumu dying in the middle of the team fight. Silencer trying to do as much damage as he can to Sapling and Junpei, but it doesn't seem like he wants to go back in there. Will he get... He does get hit by the Q. Varus does have his red buff as well. It will seem like a 3-for-2 in the favor of Ionia.
That's really unfortunate that Poncho canceled that teleport. He didn't see the rest of his team coming in. He didn't think they'd get there in time, so he stopped the teleport. But if he had gone down there, he might have just turned that fight around.
And because he had a hesitation.
Way too hard to push their little advantage that they have.
Poncho, because he faked out the teleport, Akali was able to get a nice good chunk of damage on him, so he's now down to half health, which is very, very hard to land against it with an Akali. Being less than anything but 100% health. Words today, I speak them. I'm definitely English. I didn't outsource this job to some person. No, why would I do that?
Dragon is just now spawning, and Shadowells might just go for it as soon as it comes up.
Lee Sin did just pass his red buff. There is a ward standing around top of Dr. Midget. Thresh landing a death sentence. Oh, and that will be the Scuttle Crab killed off by Krieger.
Lee Sin tried to steal it, but was just a little too late on that.
There is an Ionian pink ward in the Dragon Pit right now. Dr. Midget attempting to kill it, but realizes that might not be a good idea.
Yep. The pink wards, they got 5 hit points, and they're going to see you killing it, so anytime you go for it, you're risking them collapsing onto you, so you usually want like some kind of backup.
Oh, Mumu risking it, gets hit by the Q from Elise Sin, aggroing Dragon. They're able to pull out quite far. They might try to go for it now that Lee Sin's Q's down for as little time as it is. Karthus able to land some solo Qs. Varus landing his Q. Smite coming in, but not enough for Fixer to take it. Krieger dying as well. 2 kills down on the side of Shadow. 2 people down on the side of Shadows, I should say. Sounds Mage chasing down Light Fixer. 1 more Q and he might be able to take him. And that will be Light Fixer falling to Karthus. He does die in the middle of it. Karthus ultimate as well. Dr. Midget draining off of Sona. He might be able to take out Junpei as well. Oh, the silence bouncing between Ari and Varus. There will be a triple kill.
Oh, what an amazing job by Fiddlesticks.
Beautiful triple kill for the Fiddlesticks.
That was really smart by him. He baited them right to the undead Karthus. That way Karthus getting an extra Q off onto the Varus.
And then Varus using his flash to try and get away, but didn't help him enough because it just brought him closer to Ari. And the silence making sure Ari couldn't dash away from anything. That was very nice.
That was amazing job. That was very
4 3,
yeah. Also went to Shadow House, so that's another dragon for the man to 1 team fight.
Yes, Lee Sin attempted to try and steal it, but Karthus was able to secure it. It was left with about 103 health before Lee Sin could use his smite. That was actually Mumu's I saw. Karthus able to secure the second dragon for his team, giving them that extra bit of damage against monsters and minions.
Dragon, it used to be the early dragons didn't mean a whole lot, but now every dragon is, kind of the same because you have to get the one before it to get the new buff.
8% increased AD and AP is not something to take lightly.
Akali chasing a Hecarim top lane doesn't
move. Just going straight in.
It's the all top. Ari's very low.
Very low health. No, unfortunately, no Karthus. That does mean Karthus can push the mid lane now without worries too much of Ari coming back. Might be able to get the tower. Or at least poke
Lee Sin's got enough wave clear, though, to protect it.
Even with 5 kills and 2 dragons on the side of Shadow Isles, they are only up about 2,000 gold. Farm looking towards both teams right now. We see Akali in the top lane with Hextech Revolver and her Zanya's Hourglass finished. Poncho only with Merc Treads as a completed item, honestly. He does have Phage and Sheen. Looking at how much gold he has on him, and it is 1,080. He might be able to buy Triforce very soon if he kills off some jungle camps. Looking towards the junglers, we see Tiamat. Oh, no, that was just Lee Sin jumping at that as a combat.
Tiamat might get caught out here.
Oh, Mumu does land his Q onto the Akali. There's no pink ward to spot her out, but it does seem Lee Sin's trying to come over to help, but they peel off in time. Lee Sin has the Ranger's Trailblazer with the Warrior Enchantment, as I mentioned before, with his Tiamat. Ooh, Varus getting killed on Thresh, that's not good. Mumu has Stalker's Blade with Juggernaut, actually, and he looks like building up into a Sunfire Cape. Mid laners, we see DFG Arm Guard completed so far for Ari versus the Rod of Ages, and the 2 components for the Archangel Staff.
Terrace Embrace. Scaling up into Archangels.
Yeah, wait. No, isn't it the other way around?
No.
Archangel turns into Sarah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I was correct. Somebody, put it on the scoreboard! 1. Damn it. Teleport coming in from Thresh.
Hecker,
they will see the Thresh come in. Missed Q from Lee Sin. He uses the Oracle. Thresh uses the Oracles to see if there's a ward in there, and there was, but there were also three Ionians. Looking towards
they burned a teleport and got nothing out of it, so
they got back the lane pressure so they could pursue the Fiddlesticks, I guess.
We'll say that this bot lane for Showhouse has both been very good and made some really large mistakes. They've done very well, they pretty much dominated their lane in terms of kills, but there are also quite a few times where they kind of overcommitted when they didn't have the advantage.
Now we do see Vars having his Infinity Edge completed with a... fucking Zeal. Yeah, it is, thank you. Along with his Berserker Greaves with a Vamp Scepter, and then with Fiddlesticks, his counterpart, Zanya's Hourglass, and either something else right now. He does have Sorcerer's Shoes, sold a ward. He built up a needlessly large rod. He's going to go for Rabadon's next. Amumu about to catch out Lee Sin at the Raptors, or maybe just going for the tower. It is very low and dies, in fact. And then last but not least, we have the supports Mikhails with Frostfang for Sona, along with a normal Sightstone, versus Face of the Mountain, Spectre's Cowl, and Sightstone for the Thresh. No boots.
Amumu is caught inside
Amumu uses his Bandit Toss, lands on the Sona.
He's got friends, though.
Lee Sin missing a Q. It doesn't seem like either team wants to commit right now. We have Akali and Hecarim still in the top lane. Seems this would be a 4v4.
Hecarim's got his teleport ready, though, so...
But if he leaves, then Kawhi
Shaw's
will
is
definitely
now
take
at the disadvantage, even though it's a 4v4. Amumu burnt his ult, which is a very big ultimate for any kind of,
Light Fixer coming up to the top lane right now. Poncho taking down a half health right next to his inner tower. Can be an easy dive from Lee Sin if he wanted to go for it, but he was a little bit afraid of what could happen. Fiddlesticks catching out Life Fixer right now. Ult coming out from Life Fixer as well, landing onto Dr. Midget. Sounds coming out as... Oh, Dr. Midget able to survive. That will be Lee Sin's ultimate down.
Looks like Amumu just hanging around with Kali. I know Amumu's backing off. And let's see. Just a lot of posturing near the mid lane, basically, is what's going on. Ionia's looking to try and start a little bit of a siege. Shaw's is a little undermanned for it. They need to rotate some people there. Instead, they got 3 people running around in the jungle, not really going anywhere.
Hecarim did finish his Triforce. He has a little bit more of a dueling power against the Akali, though he's still getting beaten in terms of actual damage. Amumu, coming up to the top lane as well, runs past a ward, so Akali decides to back off immediately. Dragon has respawned. This would be the 3rd dragon for Shadow Isles, which would give them a 5% movement speed boost if they chose to do it.
Looks like Ionia is going to head down there after they saw that Amumu was top lane, though.
The ward that spotted Amumu is still there, so they know he's in the top jungle. Lee Sin, poised to go over, uses a pink ward just to make sure there are no wards in the direct area. Dr. Midget poked... Oh, no, actually dodges the Varus Q. They are all waiting in the death bush, around the death bush right now.
Ionia is just clearing out all of Shadow Isle's wards right now.
They do... Or Thresh does have his sweeper.
Shaw's needs to get another sweeper other than just Thresh. I could see Amumu or Hecarim picking up a sweeper.
Hecarim definitely should have a sweeper upgrade into the Oracles, and that is Amumu catching out Lee Sin and immediate
He's gonna die.
Sona barely able to dodge out the Q from Thresh, and that will be Dragon as well started up. It was an amazing Bandage Toss follow-up. Bandage Toss coming up from Amumu, silence from Dr. Midget to keep him in place, and then Fear Red Eye. Oh, and Varus with the steal!
Where was the Amumu smite?
I'm going to...
Yeah, I think he thought it was good, so he was just gonna save it for the next
wasn't
fight.
spotted by a ward.
Amumu got his ult here.
240 health. Vars stole it at 240 health with a max range
Sneaky
Q.
Snake Sona. Flashing over Dragon Wall to escape.
Vars getting low, he's looking to die. Oh, the ult! But then
This might actually kill Sona, too.
Double kill.
Nope.
Oh.
Sona had her W up.
Only Vars.
Carcass has his ult.
Look at this Sona. What a sneaky snake.
She ran away.
Nice job, Sona, realizing they're not going to go that far to chase me.
Hecarim and Akali so far about half health to each other. Honestly, it's just a matter of top lane versus top lane. Akali was 20 CS behind Hecarim at one point, but is now caught up. In fact, has 1.3k on her to spend.
Showouts, they're looking to dive.
Oh dear.
Lee Sin, he flashes. They don't really have... Yeah, they got a lot of people they don't want to tower dive at the moment.
Lee Sin does not decide to dive on the Q.
That'd be suicide. He'd probably get the... Or actually, no, he probably wouldn't get the Inu, and then he'd just die himself.
Uh-oh, Fiddlestick's ult!
And that is Lucy secure, jumping onto Sophie Chan. Igniting a double kill. Thresh almost landing the death sentence. The speed increase from Sona's E able to keep her alive. Sounds from being hit by a Varus Q. A wall placed right from wall to wall. Dr. Midget coming in from around the bend, notices Sona actually wards and starts to fight her. Oh, and the Q in the back of the head, just like Dragon secures it. Death Sentence landing a Flay as well. Exhaust coming out to Junpei. Sounds Midget able to take it out, but it will still die to the last basic attack. Thresh trying to help secure the kill, and he does. Thresh gets the kill on Sona. That was a very bloody team fight.
All 3 for 2 in the favor of Shawows. So
they did get Junpei, or not Junpei. They did get Lee Sin before, so that 3 for 2. Sorry.
Yeah,
Thresh is in the back right there.
So I think Hecarim might need some help in the top lane. He's not dying, but his tower's ever so slowly losing health, and Akali's just getting more and more farm. And that's you don't want a farmed up Akali to deal with later in the game.
I think he's content to keep Akali in the top lane for as long as he can. Because
he's kind of a...
He's pretty much exactly even with her.
It's a little bit of a catch-22 here. You keep Akali... Oh, and the pink ward placed in the middle of the Shroud, able to catch out Kawhi. Bandage Toss missing. Fear coming out as well. Drain. And Ares on Mumu securing the kill. And Thresh was caught out by Sophie Chan, who didn't use her ultimate or flash, just Ignite. So kill for kill trade out right there. But you want to keep...
looking to take the bot lane tower. Showers, only Karthus is nearby. He's not looking to defend. He just wants blue buff. I think this is going to go down to Ionia.
But with
Karthus
Akali,
can't really stop this. I don't think. That thing's going down so fast.
He's going in there. Don't know what's going to be done. Sona does have her ultimate, but you want to keep Akali away from the team fights as much as possible in order for her not to immediately kill people. But the longer she stays in lane, the more farm she's going to get.
They do have Fiddlestick's ultimate up like now, so if they get a Mumu in there, they could easily take
Hecarim running into the top lane using his E, chunking the tower for about 400 damage with that E Triforce proc. And that will be the outer turret secured for Shadow Owls.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
With that, Showers is now 4 to 2, so they got double Ionia's towers.
4 advantage Junpei using his ultimate on Hecarim.
He's gone. See you later.
I give Junpei full credit. He's able to land a few skill shots that normally wouldn't have been able to be hit. Hecarim using his E to get away. Normally dodge a lot of skill shots.
Walking into the wrong bush, but...
Amumu able to kill off Sophie Chan. Dr. Midget using his ultimate just for an assist on Sona. Of course, he does probably just want to ult for that swag walk.
I feel like it was more of Ionia walking into the wrong combo team.
Hecarim at very low health, about to run past the pink ward.
Well, I think part of the problem for Ionia right now is, like we were saying in the Champ Select.
Pink ward.
In Champ Select, Ionia had the pick comp, and they're not really catching anyone out, they're not being able to pick anyone off.
Because it's mainly Akali that's supposed to do that. She did go back and buy a needlessly large rod after that 3-man gank.
But she's not going anywhere, she's just staying in her lane right now.
Yep.
Mumu gets kicked under tower, but he's the tank, he's just gonna walk out.
Akali leaving top lane for once. Oh, wait, no, never mind, just ward in the jungle. I was about to call heresy.
Top lane is still on the island.
A 4.5k gold lead on the side of Shadowlands right now.
I mean, Akali Yashi's getting a lot of farm just by sticking in top lane, but
she needs to be snowballing.
And she's not the best sieger. I mean, she doesn't have a ton of wave push. She has, she can kill minions, but it's not a ton at the same time.
This matchup wasn't more about... Sorry, first, I keep interrupting.
Alright. Oh, we got something going on in the mid lane, though, so we can't talk about that. Thresh hooks the Varus. He goes in, but it's 3v1. He's gonna go down. What was he thinking?
Tower being
and there
taken
goes
as
the
well.
tower as well.
Purple team's turret
He was
has been
hoping
destroyed.
that his friends would show up quick enough, but unfortunately not.
Now
Hecarim
Hecarim
left
has
top
to
lane
race
on the
back
way
to the top lane to protect his tower.
Now, Akali may not be as good as Siege as you were talking about before, but for the fact that Hecarim just could not 1v1 her, the minions were able to just ride up into the tower. Oh, that will be Kawhi being a little bit damaged right now. Hecarim doing as much as he could, but realizes he can't do anything. Fiddlestick's about to show up. Will he be able to chase down Akali? There is a ward in that bush. Fear coming out from Hecarim as well. Silence and Drain coming out. Or Fear, I should say, not the Silence. And that will be Dr. Vinci securing the kill onto Akali while Poncho is backing out. Ignite taken down. Sona stunning out the Karthus Varus. Oh, actually, Lee Sin kicking Karthus out of the Varus ultimate. Karthus securing the kill on Sophie Chan, trying to chase down Mr. Sapling right now.
Good flash from Amumu to get away.
Hecarim coming into the back line. He will be able to take down Mr. Sapling, who survived the Karthus ult by McKayling himself.
Poncho's here,
and
though.
Bird coming out, attempting to hit down Jun. Oh, Lee Sin finding the Amumu, who is backing out in the river bush.
So, yeah, that is...
Both teleports used by Shadow Owls for that.
That is 2 dragons for 2 dragons on the teams right now. Poncho using his ghost to chase down Light Fixer. And that will be as well. And that will be a one-shot.
I'm not sure why Lee Sin wanted to stay in mid lane and push when he was so low on health and all his team was dead.
That is... Granted, Ionia got dragons, securing them their second buff, just like Shadow Owls has right now, but more... I think it was 2 for 5.
That was most definitely, I'm going to call in Shadow's favor. Dragon is not...
an interesting Lee though.
Banner of Command.
Yeah.
Recently, Banner of Command has been changed, so it's a little bit more useful, but it doesn't have a singular proc. Before, you would use it on just the Siege minion to make it a beast, but now it actually has varying effects depending on whatever minion you put it on.
It also does have the Legion effect as well from Aegis.
That is true.
It's kind of like Lock of the Solari, except with more pushing power, I guess.
It's more of a damage kind of locket, or not even locket. I would say Aegis of Legion more versus.
Yeah,
though
it's
it does give
locket.
It does give ability power. If anything, if anyone was going to have built that, I would have nodded towards the Akali.
I would have said
I would think Sona would get that, honestly. That seems like something
Sona actually has the locket. Wow,
Yeah.
they should have traded those items, because Lee Sin doesn't use much of ability power, it would just be on his shield, which granted, it's a good ratio for the 60 ability power, but it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Akali making it to the inner tower, she will be able to take it out. Akali does have
That evens up the towers now, so Ionia is even that out, although they're still behind in kills.
Poncho attempting to take out Kawaii Asuna right now. Poncho does have a little bit of magic resistance in the form of a Spectre's Cowl. The Shroud is about to end. Poncho being taken down a little bit more and more. Fiddlesticks is on the way top lane, but it looks like Akali's going to be able to regen all the health that she lost from that 1v1 trade.
This is another problem that Akali's running into, is that she may be keeping Poncho
Fear
under
coming
the
out
tower,
right as
but
she
that's
gets
where he
into the
wants
Shroud.
to be.
Oh, he gets feared out of the Shroud. Runs back into it. And back out of it. Wow, that was a really good juke.
All over the place.
Went in and out.
And Shadow Owls needs to stop this chase. They need to focus on the mid lane push. Because they're just not going to be able to catch Akali unless she tries to turn on them. She's not going to turn unless her team's there.
It looks like Akali's just planning on split pushing with a Rabadon's Death Cap, a Revolver, and a Zanya's Hourglass along Sorcerer's Shoes. She really has no reason to stop, except for the fact she's an Akali and she can go kill people.
Fiddle are both in position to try to ult over a wall, but...
It seems like they're going to back out
heal up
to
and then
stop Akali.
probably try a run and stop the Akali split push. Well, while we're looking at this, I want to talk a little bit about the dragon, since it completely changed what it was all about. It used to just be gold and you could like trade it for a tower. Now it gives you buffs, and I gotta say, like, at the start, Shadow Owls was, completely dominating their dragon control. They started off with 2 dragons, I only had 0, and then I only got 2 in a row. And so without that dragon control that Shadow Owls had, they lost it. It's a lot of potential power they lost out by not keeping control of the dragons. Like, they kind of just decided they didn't need it anymore, it felt like. But that's a lot of power. Like, you can get to 5 stacks. It's a lot of damage and siege potential.
16% bonus AD and AP from that.
Not to mention 30% increased damage to minions and monsters, 10% increased movement speed, and I do forget what the fourth one is. It is 15% damage to towers and buildings, so that's 30% increased structure damage.
And then 5 stacks is basically
Lee
kind
Sin
of a
jumping in onto the
built-in
thresh
ignite.
play. He kicks the Fiddlesticks in the wrong direction. He's about to ult in. He flashes into the Amumu ultimate as well, uses his Zanya's on top of the Karthus as well. That's Levar's falling in the middle of it. Sona using her ultimate at the very last second, but no one is saved by that.
That was Ionia trying to play the Shadow Owls game. They wanted to do the all-in team fight, and they don't have it.
Garthus, I don't believe would have killed anybody. Sona didn't use Mikhail's or Lock of the Iron Solari. I think that would have been more of to interrupt the backs, which is a nice thought of it.
Jesus, that was gross. You had Karthus, Fiddlesticks, and an Amumu all piled up on top of each other.
With a box in the middle of all three of them. Now, something to note, Lee Sin is not very tanky right now. Instead of building the Locket, he built the Banner Command, which is half the health, not to mention no shield. And of course, no magic resist. Oh, actually, less magic resist.
It does.
Actually, no, the same magic resist. It's the same magic resist.
Yep.
It's just AP. Akali is going to go use Zanya's Hecarim in the middle of the teamfight right now. Ults to secure the kill onto Akali and Sona while she's being drained by Fiddlesticks trying to surround the towers. Oh, Karthus being kicked by Lee Sin. Dr. Midget literally no health after the tower. And that would be Krieger being taken down by Lee Sin's Q. A very turned back teamfight right there. It seemed like Dr. Midget and Hecarim would have died in the middle of it as well, but fortunately Dr. Midget took just enough of the tower so Hecarim didn't need to take any of it. And that does seem like Ionia heading towards Baron. Varus did complete Guardian's Angel.
This would be the time to do Baron. Fiddlesticks and Amumu are both out of the fight, so you don't have to worry about that gross combo happening.
Fiddlesticks seems to be focusing on Dragon and not Baron, which is a misplay because they're at Baron.
He wouldn't have been able to do much, he just got there. He should be in fact trying to take Dragon right now, versus running away from it.
I'm not quite sure what he's doing.
Right, but going off of those two fights that we saw, the first fight in mid lane, that was Ionia. It was like you were saying, it was just gross. They were in the middle of all this AoE.
Fiddlesticks unable to secure Dragon. Sona trying to keep it in play. It will be a matter of who gets the damage of Varus charging up a Q. And that'll be Varus securing a second Dragon.
And there is 3 for Ionia. 3 dragons.
Purple team's turret has been destroyed.
Not secondary tower, interior tower. Actually, Lee Sin got credit for that tower, but it was the siege minion that he gave the promote buff to, which is the old spell call for the minions. And it was
you get all the gold that
Karthus putting on it. With the Baron buff, because Baron buff no longer gives the champions a ton of buffs, it's a minion buff. And it got a lot of buffs because of that, and it got buff from Lee Sin's promote.
Thresh finding Akali, not doing anything. Something to note, does it still give gold? I'm looking at Banner Command and it doesn't say so on the tooltip.
Granted, you didn't. Oh, I guess not. I guess they must have changed that. It used to just give you gold for anything that minion killed.
Yes, essentially it would have been your own little slave that would have went out and murdered everything, and since it only worked on the siege minion, it essentially became a super minion. In fact, there were many cases where a promoted siege minion could actually, or a promoted cannon minion could beat a siege minion, a super minion. Words today.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure on the matchup now with the changes, but a promoted siege minion, before the changes, was individually stronger than a super minion, but the super minion would buff the minions around it, and so it would get stronger in that sense.
Yes.
And it would ultimately win out because it has 12 buffed minions next to it instead of just one cannon buff.
Oh, I just thought of something with a... Because once you have Baron buff and you're near a siege minion, it has a very slow attack speed, but it gains 4 times the range. If you could couple that with certain champions that give an AoE attack speed boost, such as Nunu, even though it's not AoE, but you can choose to put it on a minion. Imagine a siege minion with 1.4 AS at 4 times the range that deals more damage to structures.
Man, that would be a scary thing to have to deal with.
Oh, Thresh going into the tower, or hooking Sona into the tower now, taken very low. Fiddlesticks using his Zanya's prematurely before he jumps into the team fight. Unfortunately, it was needed due to the fact Varus kicking the shit out of him.
So Shadow Owls has pretty much lost. Their lead is dead even. Basically, goals like it's 800. That's not really a big difference that's going to change any team fight around. So Shadow Owls has basically squandered their lead that they started with.
Looking towards items, we see 4 main items built on Akali, 4 main items built on Hecarim minus the enchantment. Varus has, in fact, 5 main items, building up on Last Whisper as his final one. Fiddlesticks with all but Will of the Ancient, so 5 main items built on him. Junglers have 4 main items built on Lee Sin, and what seems to be 4 main items built onto a Mumu. Void Staff being completed by Karthus, making that his actually final item. That was Karthus' 6th item. Akali is on the top tower, being unopposed right now. Oh, Hecarim coming in. Does a good chunk of damage and backs off. We see Ari with only 4 main items. She's actually very behind this Karthus.
Look at the farm, and then I'll tell you why.
Oh, damn. We should know something at Thresh with Righteous Glory.
Once again, they got this buffed up Seed Vein that just won't go down. It's going to be a real pain for Xiao. So, like, Ionia is going to be able to do these weird sieges where they just have the names.
Salto Mage being hit by Karma Q and Vars Q. Unfortunately, the Sona did kind of reveal them with that damage. Akali still in the top lane, poking down Poncho as much as he can.
Dragon going to be up in about 2 minutes. And Xiao's, because they're pushed up to their own base, they definitely have less control over the dragon.
It is 3 buffs to 2. Now, something to note for those that doubt the power of Dragon. If Varus had not stolen that a dragon away using his max range Q, it would have been 8% less ability power and attack damage on to Ionia, which would have given them a lot weaker team fights, and it would have given Shadow Owls 5% more movement speed to be able to catch down some of their more speedy players.
Yeah, it was looking like when Xiao House was up 2-0, if they could have continued that dragon control, they just would have gotten a lot of teamfight power. Like the
Mumu
speed.
being a little bit caught out right now, dodges the Ahri taunt. Yes, but if a Mumu had just said, screw it, I'm going to smite, he would have secured it versus attempting to save it for whatever he wanted to do.
I mean, I don't know what he was trying to save it for. There's nothing really more important than dragon other than
so I
dragon.
assume you'd save it for the team fight.
But at the same time, he could have just gotten Dragon and backed off. And looks like Slow catching on to the silence. Also, his life actually taken him very low. He will be forced out of the fight. Hecarim fighting Akali in top lane. Akali trying to put more pressure down, having the misfortune of being the only pushing force of the team so far, weirdly enough. Hecarim does have Home Guard built, and that will be Ionia backing away. Akali knows that she's in trouble, so decides best not to stay. Dragon will be up in 15 seconds.
Dragon Baron are both going to be up very soon, and
10 seconds left. Lee Sin does have Home Guard if a Mumu, Karthus, and Fiddlesticks can take out the dragon fast enough. 1 second. Varus and Lee Sin are in place. They see the dragon jumping down and Mumu starting it up. Ward coming out from Ionia. They're attempting to pull it out as far as they can. Q does land on Dragon. He jumps in there onto 4 members. He's alone right now. Smite going out to the Mumu and ulting Lee Sin just this way. He secured a Mumu. Very well done, smiting Dragon and ulting Lee Sin at the same time to make sure that they killed off that jumper. The jumping jungler of jumping. And Baron is up in 5 seconds. That is smite down from the Mumu, but Lee Sin is not there to try to contest it. This could be a comeback for Shadow Owls if they're able to take out Baron within about 5 seconds. Due to the fact, Ahri and Akali can probably jump on them. Thing to note, Akali and Varus both have Guardian's Angel. Guardian Angel.
What they could have done was try to bait it.
They shouldn't get low to this Baron at all.
And Baron has
Purple
died.
team has slain Baron Nashor.
And that will be a ward spotting out that they have killed Baron. Thresh.
And they're looking to try to start a team fight. Although Ionia is able to disengage safely, they're out of danger for the time being. And Shadows really needs to just start pushing something, force a fight somewhere while they got the Baron buff. They temporarily now have the advantage because of it.
If they wanted to, they could send Thresh bottom lane and Hecarim top lane, because Thresh can split push with the Baron buff. So they
and
could
also teleport on Thresh's
potentially... Yeah, he has teleport, so you could potentially start a 1-3-1 and then have your 2 split pushers just teleport it.
Will they go? He's not caught out. Hecarim's still pushing top lane. Something to note here, 15 kills on the side of Shadow Isles with 5 towers on there, 6 towers on Ionia, a Baron each and 3 dragons each. Only a 2,000 gold lead, even with those 15 kills.
Oh my god, look at that minion wave.
Just 1 siege minion. Just giant ass minions.
That
Silence.
top lane wave is gross.
Oh dear, damn. 2
The
siege
split push
minions.
so far is working well.
Var's ultimate onto Silencer Mage, and oh wow. Karthus being taken out of the fight immediately. Ult coming out as well. Will hit the Akali, breaking the Banshee's field. Unfortunately, Mumu wasting his ultimate onto the Akali. Pop the Guardian Angel, jumps under tower. Thresh is taking the damage from her right now, and she will kill off Thresh and a Mumu. In the same go, Poncho did come into the bot lane to try and help, but it doesn't seem like much went down, and in fact, if you just stayed top lane, there are 3 siege minions that probably could have taken the tower. In fact, they might. There's still one more siege minion on it.
I think the problem with that for Shao, that was a great job by Ionia. What Shao should have done is just continue the split push. They had Hecarim unopposed pushing top, and then they had the minions buffed up by Baron. They could have just continued sieging bot lane and just avoid the engage.
No.
Instead, they chose the tower dive.
Top lane tower live at 600 health with 3 siege minions.
There is still
If
one
Poncho
good thing to note for that, though. Ionia had bought 2 GAs. Now those are both down for the next fight.
Yeah.
That is true. And in fact, both the GAs had been used, and they were the only 2 people left alive. So it does say something for the team fight. Though with Baron down, that is a substantial amount of power lost by Shadow Isles. Though I still say a bit of a missed call by Poncho. He did pop the GA of Varus, but he could have gotten the tower first. Even if they couldn't have gotten the inhibitor, which again, 3 super minions with Baron buff probably could have done, it would have been at least the tower down, and they could have just revisited the inhibitor whenever.
Jeez, what would happen if you frickin' used Banner of Command on a Baron buff siege minion?
Oh my goodness.
Probably nothing really special.
It does give it increased damage and immunity to 8. It does give immunity to magic damage.
So that would mean you have to rely on Varus or Lee Sin for any wave clearing. You couldn't have the Kali, who's been the split pusher. She does have sanity, but it's not anything compared to her magic damage. And so,
well, I mean, I know for a fact that the minions don't just gain immunity to magic damage. They also gain damage, attack speed. I think they gain
based on
range.
something specific. The buff is different for whatever minion you choose it on. It's not going to be flat damage or attack speed increase. It's going to be something specific to melee, mage, and speed siege. And it does seem like Mumu wanted to jump in there, but did not have the proper team comp. Thresh was a little bit away, and Hecarim's all the way in bot lane right now trying to push with Baron buff. He still does have it for about 20 seconds. Not going to be too much help.
flashes in.
Kali jumping in there as well.
Karthus.
Life Fixer in the middle of a Mumu will survive with no health thanks to Mikhail's block behind Solari. Silencer Mage takes out Karthus. Ult coming out will kill off Akali, Fiddlesticks, and Hecarim ulting as well. Oh, Hecarim unable to save Fiddlesticks, but it is a full health Hecarim against a no health Sona. Top lane is being pushed kind of hard, but Hecarim with the Triforce can easily clean up towers.
That Amumu ult was a little bit too late. He should have ulted while the Akali and the Lee Sin were right next to him. He ended up waiting too long and only got the Lee Sin.
Hecarim's heading down to bottom lane right now. The tower is at less than 1,000 or less than half health. Granted, top lane's a little bit of a scare with 3 incoming 4 siege minions that probably will take out that tower by themselves.
It depends how quickly Hecarim can do this, because Sona's not going to be a huge damage threat to him, so he can probably just ignore her.
Looking towards top lane, the first siege minion has been taken down. Second one as well, which had like 20 health. Third siege minion is about to die, but there is an entire line of caster minions ready to defend, take out that tower. Hecarim can easily take out the inhibitor with only Sona there. A 4th siege minion coming towards top lane. It is going to die, unable to attack the tower, but the caster minions have secured the top lane tower for Ionia. And this will be the inhibitor. Why is Thresh teleporting down to bot lane? Nope, he canceled. Good call. Like I said, tower for tower, but unfortunately for Ionia, Shadow Isles have captured the bot lane inhibitor. With the Mumu showing himself up top, there's no way that Ionia could lose this dragon if they did it in 2 seconds. Which they should be able to, because the Mumu's staying top lane.
I will say though, this does help. Even though Shadow Isles definitely came out and ahead with that exchange of inhibitors for tower.
Baron Dragon.
I think
landing Q with Silencer Mage pops his E. Fiddlestick's gonna ult in on top of Life Fixer and Sophie Chan. Silencer Mage using his Zhonya's to survive through the RAQ. Dr. Mitch jumping in very far using his Zhonya's. Kawaii Sani securing the kill into Karthus. and also onto Fiddlesticks. Thresh will fall as well. Ult coming from Hecarim. Unfortunately, Karthus didn't have his ultimate up and ready. This is not going to be a good fight. In fact, this has been an ace. Ace against Shadows. A quadra kill actually for Kali.
Quadra kill.
That was a
All
very
champions
fight.
eliminated.
They needed Karthus ult, and they needed a Mumu there earlier. A Mumu used his ultimate too late trying to fight off the Varus. In fact, Mumu stayed top lane to take out another wave of minions, and that was the amount of time needed for him to get down there fast enough.
And now
This
So,
will
4 dragons now.
either 2 inhibitors or the game. They have a Varus. They have 4 stacks of dragon. They're winning the game.
Purple
Terrible
team's turret has been
Giving them
destroyed.
a ton of power just quickly to kill
Been
structures.
destroyed.
They're popping them
They're
like they're
winning.
nothing.
There were a few misplays on Shadow Owls that definitely lost them the
Purple
game.
team's turret has
And
been
we've already
destroyed.
touched on them, so I won't be beating them down any
That
farther.
That
But
was
this
just
been
a poor call for
destroyed.
that dragon. They should have just let that go and been ready
or
for
wait
the
for
next
everybody
one.
to have been there first.
Yeah.
Before
The
going in there. But
Styles'
that
main
is
strength was their combo of lockdown from Amumu and AoE damage from Fiddlesticks and Karthus. And they kind of stopped just using that combo. It felt like they weren't keeping people inside that AoE. They just really stopped sticking to what their main strength was.
It was once that Amumu lost the dragon to the Varus was when Ionia got their comeback. But anyway, officially, the first game of the tournament on the 22nd of November has gone to Ionia. 1 win for Ionia, 1 loss for Shadow Owls. Now, everybody, who is your MVP of this game? I shall start with Mike.
Let me think here. All right, well, I want to say that the MVP for Ionia, and then I'll go shout-outs after, would be Varus. One, because he got a lot of kills, did a lot of damage, and secondly, he got that amazing dragon still that really, like you were saying, was kind of the turning point for Ionia.
I'd probably agree with that. He was definitely the biggest player on Ionia, I'd say.
Yeah.
Maybe a Kali, but
And then as for Shadow Isles, I don't know, it's hard to choose. I want to say, I'm going to say Fiddlesticks because he kind of was the main force that gave him their early game lead. He pretty much dominated the bot lane. Thresh was definitely there helping him, but I'm just going to give it to Fiddlesticks for Shadow Isles.
Okay, and Soda, your nominations, though we should probably speed this up.
I'm
time's sake.
just going to agree with Mike on that one. I mean, I kind of want to give it to the Karthus, but the Fiddlesticks was really like, he was kind of the central wheel in that. He needed to get a good ult off into the back lines, and when he did, when he got a good ult off into the Mumu lockdown and everything, they won those fights. No question.
Okay,
But-
I will give my votes towards Varus as well for stealing that dragon, which essentially set up Ionia for their victory, and Fiddlesticks for pretty much just being the glue that did most of the damage throughout the team fights, even though Karthus was a Karthus. And Heavy, your nomination?
Same thing, except give Karthus MVP. A lot more damage dealt and really good positioning.
I will agree. Karthus was definitely good, but I
Karthus did
think...
good. Karthus did good, don't get me wrong.
I mean, if a Karthus isn't dealing most damage dealt, then something